So let's see. I would imagine that Phoenix is a very big consideration here for Brazil. Do you block pick this?
Mm.
Do you really want to give Phoenix away?
I don't think Frank likes playing Phoenix, though.
I mean, there's a tree on the enemy team. I mean,
Unless
if
he's
you're
playing the tree, like you said, maybe he wants to play the tree, and then they'll give the Phoenix to Wu.
maybe,
But I don't
I,
think
I
I've
think
seen Frank play much Phoenix.
I think if they did do that, then they would need to run Wu in the off lane with the tree and
Yeah.
put. I think Morphling needs some melee frontlining guy to just take hits for 3 levels. I do like Tree and ES together.
Okay, I like the Clockwork pickup. I'm a bigger fan of this. I'm not sure if they're running it on King RD or Flea. I would prefer to see it on Flea, honestly. I like a position 4 Clockwork. I like the fact that he can separate fights, like Excel did, right? In some of those other games. Just the way that he positioned himself, separate everything, make it really difficult to close the gaps. But I feel like it might be a King RD Clockwork, because didn't he play this recently? Am I crazy?
Let me check.
Thank you, analyst. Thank you for doing your job.
No, he did not.
He did not. Okay, so maybe I'm hoping it's going to be Flea playing it. I don't want a position 3 Clockwork.
At the very least, I like this Brazil draft a lot better than the previous one. You can see the adjustments that they're making. They have these 2 really active early game heroes, but they're not just in the Void Spirit and the Clockwork, but they're not just active. They can actually set things up. They can kill people. Clock very good against DP as well. This is actually a very good Clock Void Spirit game. And then you have the Nature's Prophet Treants, which can push towers with the Nature's ult. So you have the global potential to play with either the Void or the Clockwork. This is like there's a lot more synergy between these heroes that I'm seeing, and there's a lot more ways that I can see them actually taking fights, even with these 3 picks alone. You can tell that in the last game that they realized that they put way too much pressure on Flea to basically do everything. It's like there are jobs that need to be done in a Dota game, right? I don't know, like 10 to 15 of them or something. Somebody's got to push lane. Somebody's got to defend towers, whatever. And when one guy has to do like 10 of them, it's a hard game. That's a really hard game. And so this is splitting them up more evenly and letting people have the opportunity to do multiple jobs. And I really like that.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Drow.
I don't love the Drow, honestly. I feel like Morphling can just blow her up so easily. Granted, he does have to get through a lot of other things going on, but is Clock expected to just take all the damage and just be the bullet sponge, so to speak? They need something else.
I guess so. I mean, I do think that TPredator doesn't have great backline jumping. Like Morphling doesn't necessarily want to just go sit on a Drow. He can die to like a Vessel or a Silence or a Spirit. It's not the easiest thing to like roll onto a Drow because people will be standing in front of her.
Right.
So some sort of hero to jump the Drow would definitely be good. And I think if you're TPredator, you're thinking like, okay, well,
give me a Legion Commander. Let's go. And let's make it weird. Let's put Frank on that Death Prophet in the off lane, and let's put Tomato on the Legion Commander in the mid.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to go real wild here, but...
It would be, I mean, Elsie can, 1v1 a Drow full to 0, so it's definitely not the worst. The lane would be rough, though, if it's like a Nature's Drow or even Clockwork Drow. I think that would be rough. We don't know exactly what roles any of these heroes are in, though. The only hero that's really like set in stone is the Drow as a carry.
I have a feeling that's a Costabile Void Spirit. Sorry, not Costabile, a 4DR. Sorry, 4DR's name is Slowdown right now, so it's just messing with my brain. Costabile will be on the Drow Ranger. 4DR will be on the Void Spirit. It is an it's an offlane Clock.
So 5 maybe. Bane. It could
be a Nature's. True.
Yeah, it could be offlane Nature's. I mean, it could be an offlane Void Spirit with the Nature's mid as well. It really depends on what they think the better matchup is against the Death Prophet. Like you putting Nature's as like a farming fighting core as like a right clicking core. This game is definitely good with the Drow. Having that ranged hero.
That's true.
Oh God.
Oh,
TPredator. Why do you
Frank, why are you doing this to me?
Okay. To be fair, let me like put up the case for this hero. We saw it picked up against the Spectre in a previous game because you just sit there with the Q, with the Dazzle Q, and throw it on Spectre, and Spectre can't trade with you. Spectre just has to slowly run away and takes 1,000,000 damage. Bane, Ogre, Undying, all of these supports that like to just run at you and trade right clicks with you, and that's the way that they like secure the lane. Dazzle is really good against those because you literally just can't do that against a Dazzle because every time he right clicks you, he refreshes his Q. So it's not easy to just sit there and right click a Dazzle. So it does stop what Team Brazil is trying to do in the lane with this Bane sitting in front of the Drow Ranger. You can't do that anymore against the Dazzle, but it's, you know, now you have a Dazzle on your team, which is the problem.
Now you're squishy. Like 4DR can really start to make some plays early on if you're not careful, because you're not a big beefy boy. You're not someone that's going to be able to survive the initial, you know, astral step into the combo and everything like that. Don't love it, but you know, they've won in spite of it before, so.
Well, one. That's, you know,
one.
That was like one of the biggest throws that I've seen TPredator throw. That was a Hail Mary throw, and it was definitely off the back of the useless Dazzle. He did his job in the early game, but
he did, man, to be fair, but it got too late, and it gets later and later, and what is he gonna do? He's gonna hit Greaves, and he's gonna pray. Well, to be fair too, they did have an axe.
There's no axe in this
There's
game.
no axe in this game, luckily, so you know that'll be a little bit more helpful, but again, not sold on it. But I do like the fact that Flea's on the clockwork. I feel like he can do a lot more with this. And they do have some nice options going on here in terms of cores matching up with the Drow Ranger. You've got, of course, you know, King RD is going to be able to do quite a bit of damage with that Nature's Prophet. So we'll see, but I'm not sure whose draft I actually like best right now, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I mean, definitely this Brazil draft is much easier to execute than the previous one. They have a lot of heroes that can do stuff, but they also have good tower hitters. They don't have the greatest like lane shove. It's really just Drow that can defend towers, which kind of sucks. But you know they check a lot more boxes. You know, that thing that people like to say. They check a lot more boxes than in the previous game, and so that makes me a lot more confident in their draft.
I think I'm just concerned that there's too much pressure on this Drow. I think that's one thing. And again, we don't have great, like super great initiation. It's a little bit better this time around, right? Because you've got a Void Spirit, you've got the Clockwork, but like there's so much pressure again being placed on Flea to absorb all of this damage until, you know, unless, you know, King RD opts to go for something that makes him a little bit more tanky.
I was going to say, I think that's the right choice. I think that's the right choice, Moxxie.
But will he do it?
I think he needs to.
He does need to, but will he do it, Jenkins?
And that's why I was thinking maybe something like the Void Spirit offlane with well, that's weird too because he doesn't really build into the like, defensive items. I think going for like a mech on Prophet and then testing the waters and seeing like, okay, maybe I can go for a right click build if it's going really well, but maybe also I'll go for like the Vlads and the Solar Crest and things like that. I think that's probably where he's going to go with this Nature's Prophet build, is just start with the mech and then see what he needs to do, whether he can go damage, whether he needs to go damage. It's a fairly common thing on Prophet these days.
I'm nervous about this King RD choose your own adventure a little bit. But hopefully, you know, he makes the right decision when it comes time.
Lots of choices on Nature's Prophet, just in general. This is arguably the most item diverse hero in the game. You can go for anything on Nature's, and it's not bad. Atos, Yules, Force Staff, Vlad's, right-click items. I actually can't think of an item that's bad on Nature's Prophet. Radiance?
Radiance not great. I wouldn't say.
That doesn't even sound that bad, though. That actually sounds like if you went real tanky items, just TP in with Radiance. I mean, that's just because Radiance is a terrible item, though. People don't really go Radiance these days. It is not a Radiance patch.
I'm trying to think of what would be really dreadful.
Dude,
and Dazzle, what's happening to Frank?
Legit, no items are bad on Nature's Prophet.
Okay, there's no way there's no bad items on Nature's Prophet. No way. All right,
I mean, if you go for some stupid early time, I mean, like Echo Saber obviously literally doesn't work on ranged heroes, so
yeah, well,
that's not fair though to say. You know, that's like that's every ranged hero.
I mean,
that's not
yeah, we could say a
specific.
Basher is not super great on him.
Well, you know, once again, it's the same sort of category as the
right.
problem. You know,
about?
And the thing is, like, Octarine Core, you could argue is bad, but it's like that's also like nobody wants to get an early Octarine Core anyway. The spell
No.
cooldown reduction is only good in like the late game, and if you are in the late game on Nature's Prophet, lowering the cooldown on Sprout or Wrath of Nature doesn't actually seem that bad, especially if you're against something like a Troll Warlord where you can Sprout him. Now this hero's nuts. That's why this, no matter what the patch is, Nature's Prophet will be a good hero because you literally just have global TP and you TP in with whatever item you want to buy from the shop. And guess what? He farms so quickly he can get any of these items too. Even in a 5 position, he gets items.
You're right. This is definitely the Omni hero.
Nature's is a nuts hero. I love this hero.
And you can do a lot with it too. You know, whether you're playing it a la Bulldog style and you're going for the full-on rat, or if you're joining into team fights, ganking potential. All right, Frank, are you actually reconnected? Tomato, stop dropping your water on your keyboard, friend.
I don't believe that it's water.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. It's
What?
like lotion or
some
sort of soda. Like it's
like
water.
some Monster Energy. Like maybe he dropped some
Sure.
delicious Monster Energy and needs to be ashamed of wasting that precious fluid.
He's slurping it up right now from his keyboard and getting all like the nail clippings and things that are in there.
Gross,
dried
dude.
skin.
No, stop.
He's like, ooh, delicious dried skin monster.
Ugh, we're supposed to. No, oh no. Oh god, get me out of this game.
I'm getting fired.
Oh god.
I'm sorry, BTS.
Time to call a purge and see if he wants to cast.
No, please. All right, Flea. He is top. He's sitting in the Roche pit. It's gonna be a big battle up here. It looks like. Both teams want to fight this. Drow Ranger, be careful.
Oh, she's getting massively slowed down here. Followed up with Matthew, slowing down. This is not looking good for Costabile. Though MJZ just chasing after him, needs to punch one more time. There it is. Wu gets the first blood, but they do manage to go and secure up that bounty rune. In fact, they get both the bounty runes top, so
All four.
I think that's worth it. Not great, but I think it's worth it. Matthew. Gonna walk right into everyone, kicks back Flea, says, get out of here. I don't want to deal with your shenanigans.
Oh, that is what you sound like.
Yeah, one of the better heroes versus Clockwork for sure. You can just, if he ever hooks you, you can just kick him out of the cogs and then roll out.
We haven't seen really like wealthy earth spirits in this tournament just yet, but I love when they pick up the ags and they just start kicking people around, turning them to stone with the saves. Oh,
Yeah, you can
nothing
kick
more
yourself
satisfying than yeah, you can. I don't understand how that's possible, physics-wise, but we are talking about a game with magic and enchanted water bodies,
now.
like
Yeah,
Morphling down here. So
it's true. Yeah, there's some trick that you can do. I think you can kick and roll through yourself at the same time, something like that. Nushin was telling me. It's like, dude, this is so funny. Oh no, I don't know what it is. There's some crazy tricks you can pull with this hero though.
I believe it. I believe Newsham would know these. Man, King RD took so much damage from that too. Yikes. This tree is a big scary boy. He's not one of King RD's tree boys. He's in the wrong part of town.
Does about 5 times the damage of his little tree babies.
Mm-hmm.
Clockwork is surprisingly annoying to play against this tree. You walk up and punch him, and if you're not careful, he just presses battery assault and kills you with cogs. You want to punch people.
That is part of your job, that's for sure. Get that pull again coming out from Matthew. He's taking a lot of damage though, needs to be careful. They do have that brain sap. But he's just gonna back off, realizes that he's playing a little bit too, what's the word? Uncautious? That's not it. I can't think of words today. My goodness.
I think that's a word.
Uncautious is not a word. I will tell you that right now.
That's definitely a word. You can throw
that is not a word, Jenkins.
You can throw
I promise you.
onto anything, and it's fine.
Jenkins, my first language isn't even English, and I will tell you right now that that is not a word.
What's your first language?
My first language is the one that I spoke when I was a kid was Korean.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't remember most of it, honestly.
Oh my
now,
god,
but-
I'm the only person that's not bilingual here.
What did you say? Bilingual?
Yeah.
Oh, Flea, uh-oh. Flea's taking too much damage. He's got the cogs, but MJZ's just gonna punch him. Just like that.
Works the other way, I suppose, too.
Does indeed. You're trapped in here with Wu.
Yeah.
It's a tree cage match.
It is nice to have a parry that can get in and out of the cogs. That definitely helps. It's actually kind of a hard clockwork game, other than the Death Prophet.
Death Prophet.
These two side lanes can have just ways of getting you out of the cogs.
Oh, that was the Wraith bands for Drow. That's gonna feel very uncomfortable now. Bottom lane, though, they do manage to go collect a revenge kill on Wu.
Yeah, once again, you just walk up to a clockwork. Sometimes he battery assaulting cogs as you, and you feel like, why can't I walk through these? These are close enough to trees.
And a dead Constabile here in the top lane. Oh.
I mean, I gotta say, Frank like consistently wins his lanes with this hero, but I suppose they are last picking it when it's a really good lane for it, so.
True, I don't think you just pick it up and be like, what do you want to play today, Frank? Oh, I don't know, maybe some Dazzle.
Well, I don't know.
It's usually, you know.
Maybe Thunder Predator would.
Maybe I feel like they have a reason when they pick it up, you know? That would make sense.
This is true.
Flea's just tapping away at the sword here. Who says thank you for the assistance. Some movement over in the mid lane. Looks like they were trying to make plays over here on the Void Spirit, but not going to be successful. And again, they usually like to make those rotations around the 4-minute mark, trying to secure up the runes.
Yeah, I got this regen rune for Tomato. Very nice. How's Bach? Already a Morbid Mask on MNZ. Pretty huge, actually. I think King RD is dead.
I think so, too. Oop, no, he has Fairy Fire. They don't quite have enough. They can turn back around over onto Minos. He's trying to shift, but it's taken some time here. Body blocks coming out from Wu. Wants to make sure that Flea's not going to be able to get it. Oh, if they can only just boop him on the nose, but King RD teleports out. I don't know why I said that like a weirdo. It started, I was like, oh no!
Oh no, if only they could boop him.
No, I almost said teleport with a weird accent thing going on. This is looking like a dead KJ if they're not careful. Dazzle, though, taking a little bit of a nap. What's wrong with booping people? Don't you boop people?
Oh, not on the nose.
Give them the boops.
That's assault.
That's not assault.
Yes,
King
it is.
RD. Ooh, Woo, I think you went a little bit too far here, my friend. Uphill mischance. Now he's away. He's gonna try to go and juke himself over into the trees here. Become one with the trees, Woo. He's got the mango. He's gonna try to TP away. He's gonna get dragged. Oh, nope, they're not gonna drag him in on time. Top lane, they'll get the kill on Constabile. And already you can see this rotation coming out now from 4DR. Wants to punish them for going a bit far on this dive, but Aether steps forward, pulls in with the Remnant. They'll try to keep Matthew alive a little bit longer, but not quite enough healing this time around.
That's barely worth the rotation. I mean, Matthew had no business being there anymore. Like he's out of mana. He would prefer to go back to base at that point. As long as you don't kill Frank. Thunder Predator is perfectly happy with forcing a Void Spirit rotation. Tomato's just farming mid the whole time.
Gets that bottle drop off too from Matthew as he comes back with full mana. He's gonna run right into Flea though over here on the side, so both the supports duking it out. Does feel like Tomato does want to fight fairly early. Did opt to go for that point for the exorcism at level 6 instead of, you know, sitting around and farming up. Frank's gotta be careful though. There's a lot of people up here. Looks like they'll turn their attention to Matthew, the kickback. Take their step forward with the Remnant and tries to go away, but can't do it. Now Frank left all alone. Sitting at level 5 is gonna try to hide, but I don't think you hide from 3 heroes here. Not all this. But while this is going on, and they're chasing after Frank, although MJZ also here, Exorcism's gonna get used on the mid tower, so they'll try to take the mid tower as they go for the dive. They start taking all of these supports, but and Frank, of course.
Thunder Predator doesn't really. They don't really have great heroes at rotating to defend towers. You know, they don't have a spirit on their team. They have Death Prophet who just wants to ult the mid tower, so they literally just let Frank die. That is definitely one problem with Thunder Predator's draft is you see it's the opposite of what we saw last game, where...
Tomato? He's got full health, though. Spirit Siphon gets thrown out. Turn back around, try to put a little bit more damage down over onto 40R. Didn't quite manage to get that tower just yet. Lee also in position. That is the first exorcism we've seen so far. There it is, the roll on forward, slowing down the Void Spirit. It's gonna be able to go Aether Remnant away as the Bane starts to TP in, decides to change his mind on this. This tower's sitting so low, though. Yeah, look at this. Flea's trying to get the denial off. Either way, you don't want to lose this tower this early, but it makes sense when there's a Death Prophet in the game. It's taking him a while to get the denial, but finds it. Top lane, though, they're making moves again over onto Constabulate. Nightmare's going to come out from the Bane. They'll trade off. We'll just take a little nap here. Wrath of Nature gets thrown, and Frank's sitting very, very low. Doesn't have anything really to heal himself up just yet as the Aether Remnant comes through. The roll forward, though, coming out from Matthew. Gets a kick off. Not going to be enough, though, because they do have another Aether Step. And now Matthew just slowly going to get chipped away here. Brain Sap, and one of those Frost Arrows will be able to collect. But what else is going on? Again, take a look at our friend Minos. He's having a pretty good time. Woo. Woo gets spotted out here. He's dead.
This really seems to be a big issue with the Thunder Predator draft. The more and more that we're seeing this happen, there is nobody but Matthew to really be a playmaker. Like, Frank is trying, right? He's going for these crazy dives, but once they're committed, there's nobody to, like, come in and counter-initiate from Thunder Predator. It's... like, Tomato's got to be that guy, right? But I feel like to do that, he needs, like, a Yules if he wants to come in and counter-initiate. Like, for now, he wants to just hit creeps. And I think that's the right choice. And obviously, Morphling can't do anything.
That is what you sound
I mean,
like.
I will say, you know, in the past, I've had problems with Tomato, like watching him play, because he'll farm too much. But again, that was when he was playing with the old infamous squad, like a couple times back, where it was all just very fresh, new young players.
And now they're
so, like,
festered and old.
No, this is a different roster because they moved up the infamous young roster to go along with Fafita.
Okay, just Tomato then. Where's Purge? Bring him back.
I'm so glad you're back from Ukraine. No, but do have a fight going on over here by the rune spot. Matthew manages to go get the kick off, but it's not looking too great for him right now as the battery assault's going to get used on him, and he's slowly going to just tick down, although he's making them work for this. Eventually, the Wrath of Nature comes out from King RD. He wants that, but they'll lose another tower while this is going on. They'll try to put their own pressure down here on the bottom, but the teleports are coming in. They need to be careful.
It is hard, though. Like, you know, level 1 Nature's Grasp. Really? Frank is TPing it? They want to defend this?
Nope.
Okay, he
No,
cancels.
he changed his mind.
Yeah,
But they do
seems...
manage to find the kill at MNZ in the mid lane, so that's a pretty good pick-off.
Oof. How did they get that?
I think
Just
he
with the hook?
showed up. He showed up and...
Looks like they hook shotted him into just bursting him down.
Yeah. There were a lot of heroes in the mid lane, so...
The Fiend. Oh, they Fiends gripped him. They gripped him.
They gave him the old Fiend's grip.
Yeah.
Not gonna be able to take the mid tower just yet, though.
So the way Thunder Predator, as we just saw in that top lane, the way that they actually like up the pace in this game is by running at towers as a 4-man death ball. Like, they're a death ball team. They are not a take these small skirmishes and engagement teams. Like, if they're not already set up to defend something, they can't defend it. If they're not already set up to fight somewhere, they can't fight. Until maybe Tomato gets this Yules, then maybe that changes. And of course, when MNZ starts getting some items, he can show up and that whole dynamic shifts, but Morphling takes like 25 minutes before that happens. So there's a big window here where Brazil can be really active with their spells, and I don't think Thunder Predator can do anything to respond if they're not already set up to do so.
I will say they did a pretty decent job of slowing down Constabulate, though, because, again, we talked about the fact that Minos has to get these items online, and the Drow's very powerful. She hits her power peak a lot earlier than the Morphling's going to, so... Sorry, I had the hiccups there. I mean, they found a way to kind of slow them down a little bit, but again, I just feel like Minos is like this ticking time bomb a lot of the times that people just stop paying attention to him. And Roll in, though, coming out for Matthew. It's going to be the initiation over onto the Death Prophet. They had the Spirit Siphon already up, or rather the Spirit Vessel. So he's going to go down, plus the double damage rune. Matthew trying to stay alive a little bit longer. Frank can't do that much, though. And like you said, if they're not in position, if they get gone on, they really can't defend right now.
Slowdown is 40R, right?
Yes.
He's completely controlling this game. Like, every single rotation that we've seen where it feels like Thunder Predator can't do anything is perpetuated by him like being the first person to show up there. Or, you know, he runs in with the DD and he goes on Tomato and kills Tomato. Like every single time he is there. What is his kill participation actually? I think he's... Okay, he's 9 out of 11 kill participation.
Not bad.
0 deaths. This guy is completely controlling this game right now. If he was not active and they just let Thunder Predator farm, I think they just get snowballed on once Death Prophet and Morphling hit their timing.
But here's my question to you. Here's my question, is that we talked about these Spirit Brothers early on, right? We talked about how, you know, they're not as... What's the word? Not as efficient as it gets to the later game. You know, obviously Storm Spirit probably the worst one that, you know, he can ball out of control, but he's not able to carry a game by himself. So yes, 40R is doing very, very well on this Void Spirit. You love to see it if you're a Team Brazil fan, but at the same time, is it going to be enough? Is my question.
Well, that's the nice thing here, though, so you can see that his team is actually farming better than he is. Well, they're very close, but Drow Ranger, very farmed. Nature's Prophet, actually the most farmed hero on his team, so... It's good that his other cores are doing stuff, although King RD did actually end up going for this vessel, so he's going for the more like utility build, which, as we talked about, I think is the correct play. So
it's good.
Really,
it's already done a lot of work too with the Death Prophet in the mid lane already.
Yeah, 100%. I think this is a very good build that he's going, but he's got a Costa Belay Drow that's going to carry him. So I think you're cool with this, even though Void Spirit doesn't necessarily scale that well. It's like a utility scaling hero, and you get the damage from Drow.
Well, seeing a little bit of a smoke wraparound play here. They know everybody is top. They're trying to go, save up their tower, fortify. They're still totally unaware that they're making their way over. Minos is going to be the first one to show if they're not careful. You can see 40R looking for the opening. They'll use the flare hook shot, comes in over onto Minos. He's trying to strike north now. Needs to get himself away fast enough, but he's not going to be able to with that silence. He's just taken out by Constabile. And look at Tomato and Wu. They're just hiding. They want nothing to do with this. Matthew and Frank already are leaving. And Tomato's mate is down to the bottom lane trying to shove out this wave.
Francis draws the arrow on these bottom bounties. You absolutely know that Thunder Predator is going to go for these because the bounties are spawning on that gank. So this is why Matthew... Oh, never mind. He's just scared.
He is, because Frank is in no man's land here. Yeah, he's got TP out. I don't think they have the vision, though, so he's going to be fine.
Psycho. How did he get there? What the hell? So bounty runes, let's see, 3 of them going the way of Brazil because they made that gank play right on that bounty rune timing. They almost got 4, but Matthew was cheeky little position 4.
Ooh, it was a nice try from Wu, but the hookshot comes in. They were waiting for him. They knew he was going to try to sit in the tree line and push it out, and he will be the next domino to tumble.
King RD is going for a pipe next, so he is going full on utility. Big fan of this.
Yeah.
I really do feel like when it comes to, you know, disable and catch, you don't need that because your Void Spirit's popping off. When it comes to damage, your Void Spirit popping off is enabling your Drow, so your Drow is going to be the damage source. So really all you need to do is make sure that you're alive. That's all that needs to happen. And the Morphling is already countered with this vessel. Very nice build from King RD.
I'm going to try to fight this, though. Got the vision. No, nice flare. Vision going right up the drag back with the silence. They go for the overgrowth and hold him into place, but it doesn't matter. Tomato, he's taking too much damage. He's not going to be able to survive this. Fleet is just going to town here. Frank, he's just not tanky enough. It's a double kill for Constabile. They go right back into the pit, and there's nothing to stop them. Minos doesn't want to go anywhere near that. Oh, Minos. The Yule's getting used here from the Void Spirit right into the 8th Remnant. Drag him back, but again, he's pretty mobile. Should be able to teleport out the hook shot. Oh, Flea, just a little off. So close.
Their vessel carrier is busy roshing anyway. It's a long, drawn-out kill if they go on him. And we are closing in on that weed number of kills.
That is what you sound like.
For the meme fans out there, we
It's
are
lit.
we're getting to that soon enough. You wouldn't expect this with what happened in the previous game, but Brazil, man, they're popping off. They pivoted their draft, and it's absolutely working out for them in this game.
They're making it work. 8K net worth lead right now, but again, tends to be the way that TPredator sometimes plays, is that they kind of sit back. They'll not necessarily do super great early on, but they tend to be able to bounce back thanks to Minos just farming. Although not top of the net worth anymore, so a little bit suspect.
He does have his Manta now, so it's
To help.
a lot less of a threat to just die to that silence. And if Bane comes in to try to Fiend Script you, you can of course pop that Manta. Void Spirit, he's going to have his Aghanim Scepter soon enough, so much needed item. But like you said, he is not top of net worth. He has one item. It doesn't feel like it's going to be enough.
The rest of his team is a little bit too far behind, too, is the other thing I'm a bit concerned about here for TPredator. Whereas right now, the Drow is sitting top of the net worth, followed very closely by King RD, so...
I haven't really felt Tomato or Frank's impact in this game. I think the pairing between these two cores is awkward. They both kind of want to do the same thing. They want to just like sit in a lane and hit creeps.
Right.
And like slowly whittle away at a tower.
Yeah, the
Which is
nature's done
exactly
out.
what is happening bottom. Hard to push into a tree. He's got max living armor at this point.
You need some
Opted to
sort of
go
a
for that
pick-off,
first.
I think.
Nice thing about having a Nature's Prophet is that you can just keep control of the enemy jungle, and Nature's just deals with that side lane. Ooh,
This is
catching.
a dead woo. There's the pick-off that we talked about.
Yeah, taking that living armor out of play is really important. I mean, it's a position 5, so normally you don't care, but living armor, very good ability.
It is indeed. They're chasing after Minos now. Pretty Wayne forms away, though. We'll just take over the triangle and just make sure that he's not able to hit creeps. It's not safe for him. So he'll hang out over on the side. That seems a little sketchy. Alright, well, we do have the Yules finished up now for the Death Prophet. Also have the Yules picked up, though, here for the Clockwork, too. Lots of ways to set up. Grab some catch there. It's a cheap way to interrupt.
Seeing this Yule's clock a lot more these days. I think having some sort of way of setting up that's not your hook shot is pretty nice.
That is what you.
As well as
That is what you sound like.
gives you a little bit of mana regen. The hero feels like he needs the mana regen. Move speed, too. Really offers like a lot for what this hero wants to do.
Have to be careful. Flea starting to wind up, considering it. Minos front and center here. Keeps trying to mess with Kostabile the most that he can. Wrath of Nature, oof. Do have a little bit of a breakaway here in the bottom lane, though. Tomato trying to do some split pushing. We'll find the Bane. Needs to teleport out, though, and they'll follow up. Again, the Yule's coming out. But they'll drag Tomato in, so this is not looking good for Tomato. He doesn't have any sort of escape. He's pretty fast, though. He's going to get treed up. Spirit Siphon doing a decent amount, throws out the silence. He's wasting a lot of their time right now. He is eventually going to die, but they do make him work for it.
He was literally all of the Spirit Siphon charges. He healed so much, and then the Vessel
Yeah.
comes out, and it's just so sad.
Can they make a play here on Kostabile now is my question, now that you know that most of the heroes are down in the bottom end? Of course, now that I say that, they took way too long, so no, you can't.
With the Aegis, it's hard, because by the time you kill him, the rest of Brazil just gets there, and all of a sudden, you're fighting into a team that you just committed a bunch into an Aegis. It's a real
Right.
problem. So it's risky.
And then thrown out again. Try to see if they can push them off, but they don't have the Death Prophet for another 10 seconds. Does have the Exorcism, though, when she's up, and Kostabile is taking a decent chunk of damage here, but again, has the Aegis. Poison Stutch getting thrown out. Just trying to get some of these treants off their towers. There's a lot of them. They have their own solutions, though. They can heal the tower back up again. We will continue to do that. So, did manage to pick off Tomato, and they got the tier 2 in the mid lane, but haven't managed to get anything beyond that.
Oh man, KJ actually would have gotten MJZ there if he was, or MNZ, if he was just a little bit slower on MNZ there. He's got the Ether Lens Fiend's Grip and placed the ward in the right location. They're just playing the split game. They're just trying to find forced Thunder Predator to split up outside of their base because they're just knocking at the door and then looking for a Morphling pick off with the Bane.
Well, do have the Eagle Son picked up now for MNZ. He's working on getting that Ethereal Blade. Still quite a ways away from that, though. And
Void Spirit's got
the
his,
other casters are letting us know that Void Spirit picked up his Ag Scepter, so that's even more silence. That will be thrown into the mix here. And they'll find Wu. Again, the only one who could really kind of hide in the trees and push out these waves.
Right at the bot tower, which is at 40% HP.
Roll forward, trying to just cancel out over here on the Bane. They do manage to get the release off. Hookshot, though, over on the back line. Matthew's taking too much damage. Tomato now needs help. He needs to be able to get out of these trees. He does have the Blade Mail, but it's not doing much because he's just getting chipped down. The body blocks come out. You also get used as well. And the silence is just a dead Tomato. There's no buyback on the Death Prophet. Right now, taking a nap in the trees. Not a particularly comfortable one. Does have the shallow grave, though, as he's going to try to climb himself away, but it's not going to be enough. They'll find yet another kill, so there's 3 heroes on the side of Thunder Predator that are dead. And I don't know. You can kind of buy yourself some more time with the living armor. You do have the fortification, but it just feels like, how do you get in there against Team Brazil right now?
They have so much armor from the Drow buff that they can just sit here and tank. By they, I mean the ranged heroes.
Yes. The grasp thrown, trying to just slow them down, trying to get some of this damage out, but roll in though, coming out from Matthew. You're gonna try to go for the blow up. Not able to quite do it just yet, but in comes the Exorcism coming out here from Tomato. Turn their attention off the side. The Yules, the roll forward though, coming out from Matthew. So they're trying to go after Kostabile. They'll be able to get the kill on Matthew, and they just can't do anything right now. This Death Prophet is just held in the tree. She's got no mobility. It's like they do finally manage to go take down 4DR, and they might be able to go and grab King RD too, because they do have that lovely Yule Scepter and enough damage coming out from MNZ. So patience paying off now that they have that Ethereal Blade, but they got to do something about Tomato. He's got to find a way where he can get out of these trees, because Nightmare Tree, everything,
He
it
just needs
kind
a
of
quelling
exists.
blade. He just needs a quelling blade. That's all.
Yeah.
You can see MNZ has one, right? Like doesn't matter if you're a ranged hero, you're against a natures, you need a quelling blade. It's really greedy to like play without one when there's no force staff on your team, especially. And shoutouts to MJZ for putting that.
Okay.
Huh? That's a solo.
Yeah. It could have been a double kill too if MNZ decided he wanted to go for it, but oh, and the double damage rune right outside of the Roche pit. No Roche up just yet. That's a sparkly electric body of water.
They were really banking on that Roche. He just rolls in immediately. It's gonna be up. This is how it works.
Only if you're lucky.
Dota.
It's a lot of people over here, and they need some way to cancel out. They just jump right onto the back line. Silence gets thrown over here onto the Bane. Wrath of Nature again does a lot of damage, but they'll still be able to just take down the Bane, no problem. Still hunting for a little bit more. Frank, a little bit of a liability though, does get murdered on the back lines by 4DR.
Frank. Every Dazzle game with Thunder Predator looks like this. Why? Why do they do this to themselves?
I don't know. It's gonna be a dead courier. Flea wants to go for it. We'll reveal though, this is a dead Flea for that. Oh, never mind, he's still alive. That Grip Swarm not gonna connect, but King RD over here on the back line. Matthew trying to roll on out. We'll be able to go and roll away. BKB getting popped over onto King RD. Looks like MJZ though gonna get taken down, and Roche will respawn. They might want to buy back for this. Matthew sitting very low, does have a salve.
Okay, so they have the courier in the pit. They can Thunder Predator can check to see what's happening here. They saw that it's up. They see that Roche is in the pit right now, so they know they don't need to buy back. Vision also helps. I'm a little surprised that Brazil aren't doing more to like deward this vision around. It's been so game winning for Thunder Predator in the last few fights that there's just like ward sentries on these hill spots. You know,
Well, I think that's also they try really hard to protect MNZ, and the triangle is generally where your core is going to be spending most of his time. So
yeah, but this bottom one by the bot racks was just the absolute bane of their existence
yeah,
for Team Brazil when they were trying to push that high ground. And you know, usually that's a spot that you deward before you push that, but that's the thing about having a Treant Protector is that he can just walk out and ward these places that you wouldn't normally expect for a support to be able to get to, given the fact that they were stuck in their base. But a tree, you know, he's just walking around invisible everywhere, so he doesn't care.
right. I feel like they want to get into the Roche pit, but they need some sort of a pick off first on both sides.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have pretty good Roche fight and Roche steal for both teams, so...
Oh, if they get Adriano, this could be very, very good. The roll forward, the kick back with the silence, double silence thrown out. Needs to do just a little bit more damage. A hook shot, though, coming in from Fleet. Looks like Adriano's going to survive this. They get a little bit of a split going on. So you can hear that Death Prophet ultimate going off into the back lanes. They're trying to just find whoever they can. Matthew taking a lot of damage here from that Siphon. He's going to be able to get taken out by Roche. He's got the Greaves, though. Shallow Grave's going to get used. The Exorcism's already up. It looks like they want to go into the pit. They need to be careful, though. Aether Remnant's getting thrown into a nice little triangle off here on the side. How do they get in here, though? Courier kill. They still have the overgrowth. Backlines, Frank, there's going to be the roll forward again. Is they're going to be able to go? They just blow up Kostabile, and now King RD, he's taking too much damage from all of these ghosts, and the damage will follow up with the overgrowth being thrown out. They'll find the kill on King RD. Ghosts are still up and running for, oh, nope, they just end the Spirit Siphon. It's a triple kill now for MNZ, and this is going to be a Roche for them for sure. Adriano and Flea forced to run away as Minos finishes it up, grabs himself up the Aegis and the cheese. And they're still hunting, it seems. Now with the Remnant. Motto still chasing him. They'll be able to go. There's the Yules dropping them down with the silence. He just zips forward again. Do they have anything to cancel it out? They need to go and get a stun off, and they just don't have it in time. So it looks like Void Spirit will be fine. They do have some creeps in the base, but Frank's happy to go back and deal with those.
XP is officially back to even in this game.
This is a dead Flea. Unless he can get the hook shot out. Oh, no, from downtown. And a nice, tasty regen rune for MNZ for all of his hard work. I'm a little surprised that Adriano's still here. We'll use the Simulate try to run away. Could have been potentially very, very bad for the side of Team Brazil.
Does have a Yule, so you know he's fairly safe. There's no real instant disable from Thunder Predator. It's just the Earth Spirit, but it's a 2-second stun, so it's not it's not too bad.
To the tower they go with their one Cardi. And the tower down. They still have a tier 1 in the bottom lane, but it looks like they're pushing that out as well. Make the rotation though.
Thunder Predator just taking over the triangle. You know, they have this Aegis. You don't really care that much about this bot tower. You can just go back toward it at some point.
Someone's got to go back and deal with these creeps, though. Use the fort on the tier 1. Surprised that Kostabile's hanging around here. I guess they figured he's already TP'd out, though. It's not a threat.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
ERD working on a sheep stick. Definitely come in handy. So we're not really seeing any ultra defensive items coming out from the side of Thunder Predator. Like a blade mail over on the Death Prophet. Minos has just opted to go straight into the Scotty, looks like, as his next item.
It's such a strange DP build. Drums, blade mail, Yules, blink into travels. It's so strange, but
yep.
He's kind of playing this like how you play Alina, where it's just like, okay, if I get caught out, I'm dead, whatever. I'm just not. I'm gonna play to not get caught out, which is why the blade mail's a bit weird. You know, it's like you're reflecting all of this damage.
You're
but
asking to get hit in some ways.
You have 1,700 HP only at 32 minutes into the game, and only 12 armor. It's really not that scary. I think at the point in the game that he got the blade mail, though, it did make sense. But it's just like looking at it late game looks a little bit weird at this point. But it made sense at the point.
Clockwork picking up a gem now. I'm gonna try to keep tabs on where Wu is at all times because he's finding out way too much information with this invisible scouting that he's got going on.
This is one of those, like, I don't want to call it a desperation gem because obviously they still have this 8k gold lead. The XP is even, so that's why the game looks a lot more even, is because, you know, gold isn't everything. But you pick up this gem because you figure that if you lose the next fight, you're probably going to lose the game anyway with how the momentum has been going. So you just play to basically not die on the Clockwork and just say, okay, you guys are getting way too much space. I'm not going to let you out of your base. I've got the spider leg, so I can walk up onto high grounds. I've got the rocket flare. It's a pretty good gem carrier, and he's got items to be safe with it too. Yules and Force Staff.
Definitely feels like Team Brazil are kind of on the back foot, trying to make sure that they don't get picked off. That being said, you can see Matthew just rolling on forward. It's going to take a little nap.
Let's do this.
You just have a constant pressure going on here in this bottom wave.
Brazil are doing a great job, though, at avoiding this fighting while Thunder Predator have this Aegis. So, I mean, this is exactly what they need to do. I think even if they fight without the Aegis, because of this XP differential and the fact that Morphling is so strong, it's still a hard fight. So fighting into the Aegis seems like just complete suicide right now.
And there's the Aegis reclaimed, though, so... See
Alright,
Ping come out.
Tomato changed his build, by the way. He's not going for the travels. He's going for a BKB.
BKB, I think that's a good choice, but I also think that they do have BKB piercing spells. Which is also...
It's true, but if he Blade Mail BKB, you know, I think he feels fairly tanky.
Right.
It's a good combination.
Protects against that silence, too. That's going to be coming out, which makes DP very, very sad. Still could use a quelling blade. Well, I guess with the spider legs, it doesn't matter now, but...
Yeah, Spider Leg solves that. That's always a really nice item to get against this Treant. Also very nice to get against this Clockwork as well.
Frank needs to catch up here. His team's about to fight. Oh, from the high ground of smoke. The roll forward immediately, but he dives right on in. I don't think that was the player. BKB coming up from Minos. Gonna go use the exorcism. Gets caught up though over here in these cogs. King RD doing a lot of damage, but they go right forward. Follow up with a nice overgrowth. They just absolutely take down the Void Spirit. Now Kostabile King RD trying to teleport out. They don't want to be here any longer. Looks like they're gonna end up losing KJ though, as Matthew saved up with that shallow grave. They're not gonna be able to go and grab Flea though. So now they need to translate this into something because they've just blown the exorcism. Wow, the blink forward though. Tomato, they want it so bad. Do they have the detection though? Go use the Yules. Roll forward, just kind of hanging out in the vicinity, but they don't have detection other than throwing their bodies over there and realizing they're getting hit by the battery assault. Could really use that gem.
That tree ult in that fight was basically the perfect tree ult. You use the root while you have two BKBs going off. The Drow and the Nature's Prophet, as well as you catch the Void Spirit, who I believe he Yules to take the silence off. So 3 heroes that are rooted, and then I think you force the Drow to use the Manta style, and just things get really weird. Nature's Prophet has to TP out. Also, Tomato in that fight, having the blink and being able to jump and Yules the Bane, letting his Morphling survive, that was absolutely clutch. If he doesn't do that, Morphling dies, and Thunder Predator probably loses the game. Well, no, I think he had buyback at that point. But still, the game gets a lot harder for Thunder Predator if their Morphling dies at the start there. He is the guy to do the damage in these fights.
Illusionist cape from Morphling.
That's gross.
Feels good if you're a Morphling. But they have to deal with this bottom wave, because constantly just getting pushed in. Feels like they can never seem to get all 3 of their waves pushed out at once. mechanic completed now for the Morphling.
He needs that against this Fiend's grip, man. It's the only thing is status resistance. That's the only thing you can really do to deal with it. I mean, Lincoln Sphere, but there's going to be
There's a lot
plenty
of things to pop.
There's a lot of Lincoln's pop at this point. Lincoln's
Right.
is kind of a weak item, just generally speaking.
Lee? Immediately the Lotus gets placed over onto MNZ. Roll forward coming up to Matthew, doesn't manage to find anyone or anything, and he does have a gem on him now too, so the vision game is going to be very important.
And I think if you're playing on no vision right now, you would favor TPredator because they have this momentum. They have the XP lead. Their Morphling is absolute god mode.
Yeah. Now they're going to get the Roche, and I believe this one also has a refresher.
Middle tower is under attack.
Scan gets
That's
used,
your
they
Death
spot out
Prophet.
that they're over in the... Yeah, I would give it to Death Prophet. I mean,
It's not bad
she
on
can
tree
stay.
either.
I was about to say, yeah, the tree would be very good too. Hookshot comes in from Flea. He just immediately gets blown up. I mean, he's still there. He's in the air, but he's gonna try to force himself away. And the Scotty slow, King RD, he's got the BKB up, but it doesn't seem to really matter the whole heck of a lot because they're still gonna be able to get the kill. Gustavi Lee now trying to run away. He'll be able to go BKB TP out, but they'll be able to also find the kill. They take down KJ. And back into the pit they go. I don't know if you want to do this, Adriana. I don't think you're strong enough. Back, yeah, look at this. They'll find him over here on the side. Follow up with the silence, with the grip, with everything. And he does have the Yules. He's going to try to buy a little bit more time to the roll forward. Oh, that's just a dead Void Spirit.
Yeah, the stolen Void Spirit. So he uses himself and then sets up for the Morphling to use the Ether Remnant. Very nice.
Used it very well. Flea was trying to make some plays. It's going to try to go in for the hook shot, but not quite low enough here. And it's still going to be the Radiant who get the kill. They'll get the Aegis. Flea's going to get thrown up into the air. It was a nice try, but not good enough.
He was close. I mean, you could see what they're going for, though, because you do not want to lose that third Roche. You give it a refresher shard to this DP, and the game feels extremely hard, so...
Maybe they can force out some buybacks here.
Matthew sees that this bounty's gone. Nah, he's
I don't
not
think.
gonna-
I think they want to just go hit buildings at this point. No
Yeah,
reason
I
not
mean,
to.
May as well. Look how little damage this Morpholution takes to the tower shots.
There's so many
Armor?
Morphlings.
Armor's a real thing.
It
Very
really
powerful.
is. Got that illusionist cape too. MNZ doesn't care. Goes to take that. He's gonna make his way over to the other tower. Can't take the bottom tower, of course, because they still have the tier 2 up. KJ says, take a little nap, my friend. Looks like Matthew will instead go forward, followed up with the gust. Silenced up. MNZ, he's got the shallow grave though. He's got the BKB. He's gonna go diving right into the backhand lines here. Trying to put out enough damage, but he might have gone a little bit too far, so looks like he's gonna fall. That's gonna be the Aegis. He'll be back up again, but again, they don't have that save. Matthew throwing his body at everyone. MNZ, he's very, very slow and just too much damage, I think. Turn back around, trying to just hit people, but he's not going to be able to. And they might have actually gone just too far now as MNZ getting plunked away. Another shallow grave gets thrown out, though. He's going to try to run out, but he just can't do it. That's a godlike 10 times kill streak that just got ended. MJZ also to fall.
That was
What the heck?
that was a pretty big throw. I mean,
Yeah, why? He didn't
Jumping
even get a
in.
tower.
he's feeling himself. You know, jumping in like that. He feels like
Minos, envy.
he's got the Aegis. He feels immortal. He sees that his illusion is taking basically no damage from the tower shots and from the Drow Ranger. So it's like, oh, I'm a god. Oh, I don't know about that.
Man, the worst is I know Avo's gonna watch this game later, and he's gonna be clutching the side of his head, pulling his hair out, going, Minos, why? We just talked about this in the earlier games that we casted.
He's got a throwing problem.
Yeah, a little bit.
That way,
A
yeah.
little bit. I mean, the game's not over yet. He's gonna be up. They do have buyback. They've got a Treant Protector. He's gonna be able to heal up the towers. But definitely not one of his finer moments. Jump in again over onto Frank. Get bullied a little bit, but they'll take the tower. want to overcommit here. Nightmare's gonna get thrown over onto Matthew. Frank getting dragged right back in again. It's gonna get pounced upon. Does have the shallow grave, but they'll go and they'll use the exorcism. Try to just force them away as they're chasing after Wu. These Scotty illusions, oof, they hurt. Very tanky. So they managed to poke out the exorcism from the Death Prophet. They don't manage to take the racks.
He does have refresher on DP though, so anytime
Oh,
he uses
true.
that, it's not so big of a deal. Because you know, if worst comes to worst, then you can just pop that refresher, have it up for the next fight. Interesting choice though that
That is
Thunder
what you
Predator,
sound like.
they made the calculation that they can hold that Rax without using the buyback on Morphling, and it puts them in a really good position in this game. It kind of counteracts that throw. I mean, obviously you don't want to have to make a clutch decision like that because like you probably could have just ended the game if you don't dive tier 4s. But
Yep.
you know, still, if you're gonna throw, that's a good way to recover from it. Is just to say, okay, we'll pop the Exo to deal with this. But once again, this is exactly why that third Roche is so important. It gives them the ability to use that Exo to defend, and they have the possibility of throwing without just losing the game.
Oh, hook shot coming over on the back lines. They find the tree end. They just blow up Matthew almost immediately. He's gonna buy back. There's the save though coming out for MJC. We've got two different fights going as the BKB coming out now from Tomato. He's popped his own blade mail. He's gonna try to chase down Adriano. They see Stabile, but they have nothing to cancel out the TP again. King RD though not gonna be as lucky. He's left behind. They managed to go and knock him backwards with the stun. Tries to get the high five, but no one's going to give it to him right now as they'll go find their kill on KJ as well. So we've lost King RD. We've lost the Bane. Still have plenty of other people up, and they did end up using the refresher shard for that.
Yeah, they did. I think really the more important kill there is, well, I was gonna say KJ. If they do go high ground, then I think they could have probably taken a tower. But I suppose they don't know that Bane is just sitting on no buyback because it's just a lack of gold. It's not the fact that he didn't have buyback.
That is what you sound like.
Wow, they actually have two more items they need to, or they had two more items they needed to get from these neutrals.
Witless.
Man, Shaco and
Witless
Prism.
Jacko is so good.
I can't believe they've been playing without these items, actually. Like, both of those are so good in this game. Give Frank the Witless Shaco, or... I think the... Well, let's see. Spider Legs are so good on VP, though.
I was about to say, I like it, the Witless Shaco over on Death Prophet, but she needs the Spider Legs to get out of the trees because she's too vulnerable without it. And she can't afford to give up any of her slots at this
She's
point.
going for the Prism. The Prism is just too... It's just too good on this hero.
Prism
I
on
mean,
her?
yeah, you're all about this ultimate... having this ultimate up, so...
True.
This you know, this does make sense to use this, but now she's susceptible to getting sprouted is the problem. Let's see, do we have any Force Staffs?
Surprisingly, no.
Still no Force Staffs.
No one to help her break through that.
Oh, this is cool. MNZ has this... He has this basher, so whenever he morphs into one of these melee illusions, he has the melee bash chance, which is very nice.
Oh, that is nice.
But not great melee heroes to jump into in this game. It's basically just Void Spirit that he's going to try to become. That's really it.
Gotta be careful. They keep playing around this mid lane. We've seen what happens when Flea gets pounced first.
Where's the gem at? We still have both gems, yeah. So basically everybody's playing on no vision. Although Brazil, they definitely need to walk around and de-ward. There's a couple too many wards up right now. There shouldn't be any vision. Okay, there we go. It's getting de-warded now.
Still scouting out this Roche. It's gonna be a while. Might respawn in about 50 seconds, but no guarantees on that. Just trying to put up vision, like you said. Tabs on it. Feels very spooky. Go for a smoke. They can see some of them in the top lane. It's like Thunder Predator. Gradually making their way over. Gonna roll forward with Matthew first. See that flare coming out. Roll forward, gonna go right past Costabile, but immediately pointed out. Here's the BKB coming out from Costabile, trying to keep that, but they'll be able to kill the ball with the overgrowth. And there's a lot of damage being dumped out over here on this Ground Ranger. She's not gonna survive this at all. They'll take her down. There's gonna be the buyback. They're chasing now after King RD. He's trapped with all of these wonderful ghosts just flying out his face. It's a double kill now for Minos. The roll forward again. The kick back over onto KJ, trying to give Minos maybe a little bit more, but it's gonna be Matthew who collects on that kill. So it's a good gank, but they need to push out these waves, and Roche still not respawn. It's going to be a long Roche respawn, it seems. Still chasing after Constabile. They know if they can get this kill over on the Drow, this could be the door opening for what they need. Yules is going to come out, bless the signs, the 8th Remnant jumping forward again from Adriano. More buyback to Miguel from King RD. They want to try to keep him alive. Tomato, he does have that blade now. He's got the spider legs over here onto Fleas. He tries to hookshot himself away, and he does manage to go. Matthew pretty far in here. Does have the Ghost Scepter, though. Tries to go for the rollout. He's not going to be able to. He gets blocked. And they're just going to town over here on Matthew. Minos is here, but it doesn't feel like they want to go in on this. It's a big fight for not nothing, because you do get the buyback out of Constabile, but...
Yeah, they force out all the buybacks. That's really the big thing here, is that if Thunder Predator does the same thing again... Oh, okay, that's a rapier.
Okay.
All right. I'm not entirely sure how good a rapier is on this hero, though. I mean, even if you get this Astral Step crit, it's only 160%. It's 60% more damage. It's really not that much.
I like the Nullifier pickup, though, for the Nature's Prophet. I think that has the potential.
Yeah, that'll certainly help. Nullifies the Yules, Ghost Scepters, the Royal Blade. Very nice. Somebody needed a Nullifier. Give some extra damage, too. Like, even though he's got this utility build, he's actually doing lots of right-click damage now with the AC and the Nullifier.
He's very tanky, too.
Yeah, this is a great,
all right, this is
great
going to
build.
be the...
Fortunately for Thunder Predator, it's a long Roche, like you mentioned.
Ooh, oh, they get Constabile's Demon Edge, though.
Tower is under attack.
They're going to send over some of these illusions. They should be able to get the scout out. Anyway, do have some creeps hitting their base, though. Still another 43 seconds before Roche responds. Looks like they see the opening. They say, all right, if you want to go to Roche, I guess we'll just go hit your base.
That would be
creeps.
That's
happened before.
Yeah, that would be a very interesting call, actually, if they did that, if they just went base and ignored the Roche. But it's the 4th Roche. I mean, this has all the items. This is the big one that's ever existed. Doesn't get bigger.
Does not, and you can see, all right, we'll push them back off of their buildings. Set Matthew home, hoping that they can go and grab him, but he's pretty fast, and they've gone a little bit too far, perhaps. Blake looking for the hook shot, the follow-up, Nullifier getting used over here onto Matthew. He's turned into a little piggy. Looks like he might be able to survive as though as Flea chases after him. No, he's gonna go down. They've already bought back on him. Mina's on the back line, though. He spots Constabile. He's doing so much damage. They're just not focusing on someone in particular. And now Tomato, he's gotten nullified up. He's getting held into place. Constabile trying to find his way through. He's not going to be able to. He has way too much damage. So go back around. They see King RD. They want to get rid of him. They don't want him to just constantly be ratting him. And again, Tomato just spending a lot of time asleep. But there's the super forward. They can see KJ over here on the top area here. Need maybe one more hit. Oh, no, maybe they can see him. Nope, there's Frank. Frank says, I'm helping. I'm doing my part. But they do need to go home. They did lose one of their tier 4s while this is going down. Oh, but if they get this rapier...
Wow. Okay,
Thank
that's
you
it.
very much. There's
That's
the GG
it.
call. It was their Hail Mary. It didn't work out. So just like that, Thunder Predator knocking out Team Brazil in a 2-0.
And that ward absolutely paid dividends. You could see at the end there he was maybe considering going for like a base play because there was only one tier 4 tower that was remaining at like 20% HP. So maybe there's some sort of throne play that you can make. They did have forts, so I don't think Thunder Predator really was looking like they were going to lose that one. But yeah, that was Thunder Predator. Whenever they have this dazzle, it's like the game always seems so tough for them. And then they just get to a point where they play the team fights so incredibly well that they bring it back. And it almost feels like, why? Why are you requiring this from your gameplay? I mean, I'm impressed and it's incredibly entertaining to watch. But if you had another hero with stuns, oh my goodness. Oh man, MNZ though, like these are the games where he gets to shine or he just 1v5s.
A lot of the teams have been making the mistake of allowing MNZ to farm, and they figure, well, we're slowing down everybody else. It's fine. You know, he can't carry this on his own. But a lot of the times, they do rebound very, and usually it's Leo style, right? It's not necessarily Tomato playing, although Tomato was playing very well considering the fact that he had a very difficult time earlier, spending a lot of time being caught in cogs, trees, nightmares, everything in the kitchen sink. But you can't discount him. And then, of course, I'm a huge Matthew fan. Matthew gets a lot done, even if it's just, he's rolling his body at them, a lot like Schofield style, right? This guy makes the space. He makes things happen. And I feel like these two guys are really like kind of the core heart and soul of Thunder Predator recently. Team Brazil, they had these good moments. Costabile was looking very good early on. King RD too, he bought the right items, but it became an issue later on. It was MNZ got too big. He got too big and they just couldn't deal with him at that point. They didn't have what was needed and the fights were a bit sloppy.
Yeah, that was a bit throwy. I think you could almost sense the like anxiety in that game where it's like you could feel the momentum as they were winning, and then when they started kind of bleeding to Thunder Predator, it's like, this is how we lose. This is how Thunder Predator wins a lot of their games, is by snowballing like this. And I don't necessarily know if they're thinking like that, but they were certainly feeling it. Like you could see all of these like instant buybacks happening into like immediate feed, or picking up like the rapier on
the
Void
rapier
Spirit.
especially was the moment I was like, they've tilted. They're like, this is all we can do. I don't know what else we can do.
Right. And like tilt, like the word tilt, it's like I want to say that it's like not the anger type of tilt. It's more like the
it's
anxiety,
a
desperation tilt. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think to me that was like the name of this game, where Brazil were just playing better. They were just the better team for the first like 15 minutes, and then shit got to them, and they never like psychologically recovered from that as the game progressed. And it was very obvious in the choices that they were making, especially with like that rapier pickup. It just doesn't do anything on Void Spirit.
Yeah, I think nerves eventually got to them. And again, it's an elimination match. It's bound to happen. But Thunder Predator, they're going to continue here in the lower bracket. Unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to Team Brazil. But, they were fun to watch. I'm sure we're going to see more from them in the future. And I think with more time and more, practice being able to play together as a team, things will start to shore themselves up a little bit. So I hope they'll stick together. I don't know if they will, but again, fingers crossed that they will. So that's going to be it for this particular series, guys. We have one more for you tonight, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be Crazy versus Beast Coast coming up next. So a little bit of NA versus SA action. I'm pretty excited about it, but we're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we'll have the final series of the night.